Congratulations. How are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. I'm feeling very, very happy.
Did that fight go the way you had anticipated it going?
Ideally, I would have gotten a finish, but yeah, in big strokes, it was pretty much following the possibilities we expected.
What was your game plan going in there?
Well, game plan was to get the striking going and not get hit by anything stupid. Like, he's such a skilled striker, so and he's very explosive, very fast. So especially in the first couple of minutes of every round. So we didn't want to walk into anything stupid. So kind of played safe on the outside, poke him a little bit, and then as the round progressed, maybe seek out the clinch or put the pressure on him, changing angles and going into some exchanges.
Was there anything about him that surprised you?
It's not to sound arrogant, but no, it was very much what we expected. But we also anticipated him being very, very good. So it's not like a knock on Salikhov. It's just like he's so good, but he did what we expected.
And I heard you say you wanted to fight in November. I couldn't hear what else you were saying, but can you give me some more background on that? Why November?
Well, it's my birthday in November, and my next fight is gonna be my 30th pro fight. And this year is the 30th anniversary of UFC, so it would be fitting to get that 30th fight on the 30th anniversary on my birthday month. So it was just, it's if you can line the things up, could be nice.
And do you have a dream opponent?
No, honestly, I know I should have a name, but I can't remember who's booked and who's not. So just give me someone. I'm not picky.
Thank you.
You came in also as a slight underdog. Is that something that surprised you, or is that something that you kind of thrive upon, or do you even pay attention to some of that stuff?
I don't pay attention, so that I didn't know.
Well, you were, but you certainly didn't look like it out there.
I didn't feel like it.
Yeah, and it definitely looked like you were trying to. You talked about pressure, but it looked like you were definitely trying to put the pressure, whether it was on the cage, but also trying to get close up onto him. And you're doing some good damage with the leg kicks as well, and doing head kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was the pressure? Was that a big part of the plan? Was just to keep the pressure and keep him on the back foot?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We knew his gas tank isn't the best, and mine is probably the best across all divisions, looking at the data I have from my physical training. So, but then it's just a matter of how you apply that pressure. And with Salikhov, he's such a dangerous striker that you don't want to take any stupid risks and walking into anything, an explosive kick or anything. But I mean, he's so well known for his spinning kicks. And I'm so proud of the preparations we did, because every time he did that, I recognized it and saw it. So, yeah, hats off to you two. We did it right.
Did you bring anybody in particular to try to emulate those things, or is it just something like your coaches watch the game plan and then you just sort of drill those moves?
Yeah, we flew in a couple of guys from across, not a couple of guys from across Europe. That sounds so exotic. But one guy came in, and then we found two other guys in Sweden and Denmark. So yeah, I had three different guys try and come in, but none of them could provide the whole package. So it was kind of like what's the word? Like you kind of put it together by different pieces, right? But we made it work because I felt safe in there. I felt composed. I felt strong and aware. So yeah, the guy over here with the glasses, he started coaching me back in 2006. He was like when I had my first fight, and we spent 7 years apart. Things happen in life, but now we're back, and I'm very excited that we're able to get back together, and it feels like 7 years hasn't passed.
Sure. And how important is it to have that trust and that relationship? Especially what you guys do going in there is a very dangerous sport, but to have somebody in your corner and have the right people behind you to be there, how important is that to have the right people in your corner?
It's very important. Like some fights, when you fight, no offense, the corner team doesn't really matter. They're there to give you a sip of water. But if everything goes smooth, if you're prepared properly,
the work's already done.
The work's already done. But yeah, in some fights, it matters so much. But of course, it's always nice just to have the right people around you. And it's not like I've had a bad bunch of people around me. It's just now I'm back with a guy I've worked with and known my entire adult life, and that's just an extra cherry on the top.
And something you said that I'm interested when you were talking about the data. When you're talking about like looking at probably in your training. Are you one of these guys that gets very, very technical and does all the numbers in your practices and training to fully understand how well your body's operating?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a data geek, and I'm working with an amazing scientist, Dr. Kenneth J, who's helping me with my physical training. And he's a huge data geek. So we geek out over all kinds of data, heart rate, lactic acid tolerance levels, stuff like that. So yeah, I pay attention. But in the end, MMA is such a complex sport. So yeah, okay, I can do a 5K on a rower at this time, but that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily a good fighter in the cage. So it only goes so far because the sport is so complex.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, I'm sure you've seen growth in your game. So if you had to rate yourself on where you think you eventually will be, and a lot of times in games, video games, somebody's rated like a 70% or an 80% on the staff. Where do you think that you are in your overall scale of where you will be eventually? Where do you fit now to where you think you will be at some point?
Like, are you asking
how good you feel right now and how well you perform? Where do you at right now? Like, you 8 out of 10? Are you a 9 out of a 10?
Okay.
Are you just halfway along your game? Are you still learning?
Well, it feels like I'm growing all the time. Even though I'm 38, I don't feel my body is limiting me. Oh, that's a tough word for me to say right now. I'm not limited by my physicality. So things evolve, progress. It's difficult to say. I feel like I'm still developing. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on chiseling away at that whole thing.
And I'm sure you want to stay busy. What's the perfect number of fights for you in a year where you feel like you're operating at your optimum best self?
3 to 4 a year.
3 to 4?
Yeah. That's what 3 is happy medium, 4, that's a little bit busy, but still good. Yeah. 2 is a bit too little.
That's awesome. Congrats on the victory.
Thank you so much. Good questions.
You mentioned in the post-fight interview that you're now the Danish fighter with the most wins here. How special is that for you?
It's very special for me. I mean, for the rest of the world, it's just a fun stat. But, when I started doing MMA in 2006, Martin Kampmann I think he just got into UFC maybe or something like that, along those lines. So I've always looked up to him. And he's been, such a benchmark and such a beacon in Danish MMA. And now, I'm not saying that I've overtaken his position necessarily. He still has more UFC fights than me. But when I started doing MMA, I never expected to be signed to UFC someday, and I never expected to be suddenly the guy with the most fights ever of all Danish fighters ever, and the most wins. It's just mind blowing. It's incredible, and I take that as a big compliment to myself that I've been able to keep at it, and I'm still developing.
And you said you wanted to fight in November. The UFC often makes a trip out to MSG in November. Is that a card you would love to be a part of for your 30th fight, or does the location not matter at all to you?
I'm not picky, but yeah, that's why I suggested November, because MSG, that's a dream come true to fight there. And, if we can make the numbers work and, 30 fights, 30th anniversary on my birthday month, it could be fun. Just, yeah.
Hopefully it works out. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.